340 for our opening prayer. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine ma tov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. How many people here can speak Hebrew? How many people here can read Hebrew? Really good. So we're going to turn to page 341. And I noticed some people didn't raise your hands, and that's okay. Because this next song that we're going to sing, even if you don't know how to speak or read Hebrew, all you have to know how to say is A and O. Can you say A? O. Easy. So that's going to be the opening part of this song. Just follow what I do. A, O, O, A. That's it. A, O, O, A. Let's do it again. A, let's do the Hebrew now. Lo yisa goy el goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama. Lo yisa goy el goy cherev, lo yilmedu od milchama. Ayo, ayo, oh.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I say Shabbat Shalom, it means a Sabbath of peace or peaceful Shabbat, Sabbath. And you say it back, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
I'm Rabbi Paul Kipnis, Rabbi here at Congregational RME with Cantor Kyle Kotler, and also Rabbi Lana Zilberman-Soloway, our rabbi, and Cantor Doug Kotler is here, our emeritus cantor, and our president, Richard Rudkin, also. We are thrilled to have all of you here as we celebrate this simcha, this joyous moment of the Sabbath, of being together for Shabbat, and especially being together as Mia becomes a bat mitzvah. We welcome all of you who are here in the sanctuary with us. We welcome all of you who are streaming with us via the live stream. We want to especially say hello to Granny Clear and Aunt Karen, who are, Granny Clear I think is about 89, and Aunt Karen is not 89 yet, and they're in Johannesburg, and Aunt Pam, who's in Washington, D.C., and Uncle Michael in London. So everybody turn back to that camera right there, and everybody say, hey, hey, so glad you're there. Okay. For those of you who are streaming in, drop in the chat, if you will, just who you are, where you're streaming in from. Did you get your tickets on StubHub or by... we're going to be in the sanctuary space for about 90 minutes. If you need to use the restrooms, it's right behind that wall, but don't use the door in here. Just go right back out these glass doors here and immediately to the left. If you need a drink, there's a couple of water fountains right over there also, so enjoy that if you want. When we're here, as we talked about, lean into the experience. Smile. It's okay to laugh at the right times. If I tell a joke, it's always the right time. And sing along. Try if you can. And now we're going to begin. So I'm going to invite up Dad and Papa, Alan and Goose. And you too. Right there. We're here. You are here. You, a gift to these two men, to this family, to this community. You have made it to this moment. And as we said just before the service, for all intents and purposes, you're bat mitzvah. Now we get to enjoy the experience. The experience of reading from Torah, of leading the service, of teaching everybody here. The experience of putting on a talit, a prayer shawl. How does one prepare for this awesome moment? For Jews, it's by putting on a talit. A talit is just a piece of cloth. It has on its corners strings. These strings are wrapped a certain number of times and tied in these 4 knots. And they're called tzitzit, which means fringes. And we're taught in the Torah, in the 5 books of Moses, the first part of the Bible, to wrap ourselves on 4 corners with these fringes. They are reminders of 613 mitzvot, commandments in the Torah, to live a good, honest, ethical, a Jewish life. To live the life you're destined to live. So in a moment, you're going to take this talit and wrap it around your shoulders. When you do, you're wrapped in their love. They've loved you from the moment they thought about you, all the way through now. You're wrapped in the love and support. Take a look of all these people gathered here. You're wrapped in their arms too, though at a distance more. You're wrapped in God's loving arms. Wherever you go at any moment, you take this talit, put it around your shoulders. You're brought back to this moment, propelled forward into life, to the goodness that will come. So take the talit from the hands of your parents. And turn back and let's say the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehitatef bat tzitzit.
Amen. Go ahead. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, guide of the universe, who makes us holy through mitzvot and commands us to wrap ourselves in the fringes of the talit. Yeah, come on over. You remember that moment? Remember that moment when you knew she was coming? You remember that moment when you knew there would be someone? Did you know she was Mia back then? Not yet. You knew this baby was coming here. You knew this holy moment. And then she came into your lives, our lives. And she just sort of lay there. And you did nothing. And then you turned over. And then you started crawling, and then you got up on your hands and knees and started going faster, and then you got up on your feet and started running off. And you went to school, and you went into activities, and somehow you made it your way here as a young adult, ready for this moment of holiness. We like to hold on to these moments, to lift them up. We do it with words. Words of prayer where we thank God for giving us life, for keeping us in life, and really for bringing us to this holy, special moment. So we have a prayer. It's on page 344. It's called Shehachianu. I think it's the second one down. We thank God. And join us if you know the prayer.
Eloheinu melech haolam שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה. In the garden there's a tree planted by someone who only imagined me. What love, what vision. I marvel at the gift. No fruit could be sweeter than this. on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. As my people went from land to land, something passed from hand to hand, and it isn't just the words and stories of the ancient laws and golden glories. It's the way we study, the book we study. It's the way we study, the way. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. Today my life is full of choice, because a young man raised his voice, because a young girl took a chance. I am freedom's inheritance. Years ago they crossed the sea, and they made a life that's come to me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. So in the garden I'll plant a seed, a tree of life for you to read. The fruit will ripen in the sun. The words will sound when I am gone. These are the things I pass along, the fruit, the book, and the song. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me. I'm standing on the shoulders of the ones who came before me.
Let's turn in our prayer books to page 26 and 27. Page 26 and 27. I want to introduce you to our prayer book. It's called Mishkan Tefillah. It means a tent of prayer. It was created for a moment like this. In this room, we have Jews, Christians, perhaps Muslims, Hindu, Buddhists, people of all sorts of religious faiths, some with none. We have people who are, for the Jews, they're Reform Jews, conservative, maybe Reconstructionists, perhaps Orthodox Jews, some secular Jews. We have people of all over the faith spectrum, if you will. How do we create a meaningful moment when we're all in this sanctuary space together? This prayer book is designed for that. Every 2 pages is one prayer. So 26 and 27, using the black numbers, not the blue ones, is a prayer. So 26 and 27 is the Chatzi Kaddish. Our bat mitzvah will chant the Hebrew on the upper right-hand corner of the right-hand page. Now you can chant along with her using the Hebrew letters, or just look to the left of it and you see the words in English, Yit Kadal v'Yit Kadash Shemei Rabbah. That's the transliteration, Hebrew words and English letters. You want to know what the prayer means? Look under the Hebrew. See it, exalted and hallowed be God's great name. On the left-hand page, you'll find 2 or 3 readings, usually in English, on the same theme, but they look at God or life or spirituality a little differently. You can peruse those if you want. And then on the bottom of the page, like on 26, there's a thin line, and underneath you'll find commentary either on this prayer specifically or prayer in general. So imagine it's like a web page, and you get to surf your way through whatever to try to find something meaningful. And then when we're ready to move on, we'll announce a page number so we're all kind of on the same page. Okay? Now, at times during the service, I'm going to ask people to rise. What I really mean is rise in body or spirit. If standing up works for you, that's our tradition. If it doesn't, stay seated. It's okay. Direct your heart to the Holy One, wherever that may be, and God will put it all together. So for now, let me ask you if you're able to, we rise in body or in spirit on page 26 and 27 for Chatzi Kaddish.
Gadol vehi kadash shemei Rabbah be'alma diverach yir'ute ve'amlich malchute b'chayechon uvyomechon uvchayedecho be'Yisrael Bagala, bagala, uvizman kariv, ve'imeru, amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach, le'alam ulame almaya yibarach, yibarach ve'yishtabah, v'yipa'ar v'yiromam v'yitnaseh, V'yihadar, v'yi'aleh, v'yihalal, Shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'elam min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiram be'alma, v'imeru, amen.
We'll turn to page 28 as Mia leads us in the call to worship Baruch Hu. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
And we can be seated, and I'd like to invite Viviana up, and she's going to lead us on the prayer. You can find it in your books on page 35.
If you're lost, you feel afraid, and you don't know what to say, then listen, listen to our God. Is there a question on your mind? Is the answer hard to find? Then listen, listen to our God. Listen with all your heart and soul, and with all of your mind. Write them and learn them and teach them well, every morning and night. Close your eyes and listen. Quiet yourself, there's nothing to say. Stop all the chatter that gets in the way and listen, listen to our God. When the wind and the thunder finally disappear, there's still a voice that you will hear if you listen, listen to our God. You can hear it from the top of the highest hill, or from the valley below. It can come from the edge of the universe. It can come from within your soul. Close your eyes and listen. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod, Shem Kevod Malechuto Leolam Vaed. Listen, listen to our God. Listen, listen to our God.
We're going to continue on page 36 with the Ve'ahavta prayer. There's a desire to clap. We're so excited, and that's how we do it in American life. Here's what we do in a synagogue, this. So in sign language, this is a way of celebrating, and we can do that after the speeches, after the blessings, if you want, if it's meaningful. We're going to continue on page 36 with the Ve'ahavta prayer we chant together.
Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha uv'chol nafshecha uv'chol me'odecha v'chayu hadevarim ha'eleh asher anochi metzavecha hayom al levavecha Veshinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam beshivtecha bevetecha uvelechtecha vaderech uveshochbecha uvekumecha וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
We're on page 40. Ya la la ya la la ya la 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 ya la la ya la la ya la 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 la.
מי כמוך בעלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילות תוסיף אלה, נורא תהילות תוסיף אלה, מלכותך ראו בניך, בוקע יום לבני משה ומרים, זה לי אנו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד.
Ya la la ya la la ya la 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 ya la la ya la la ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 la. Page 44.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי 6 ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש, שבת ויהי נפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
We're going to turn to page 48. This is the Amidah, a standing prayer, the standing prayer. So I'm going to invite you all to please rise as you're able. And in between page 48, 50, and 52, I'll call the page numbers. We're going to have a little nigun, one of those wordless melodies. So as you pick it up, please join in with us. Yai, lai, yai, lai, lai, la, lai, yai, lai, lai, la, lai, yai, lai, lai, la, lai, yai, lai, yai, lai, lai, la, lai, yai, lai, lai, la, lai, lai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov,
Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Hasdei Avot V'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei V'nechem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Vezvat Sarah.
Yai, lai, 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 page 50. Yai, lai, 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 yai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 lai.
Ata Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol Ata, Rav Lechoshia, Mechokel Chaim Bechesed, Mechaye HaKol Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofeh Holim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato Lishenei Afar Michamocha Ba'al Gevurot Umido Melach Melech Memit Umechayeh Umatmiach Yeshua V'ne'eman ata lechachayot hakol Baruch atah Adonai Mechayeh hakol.
Yai, lai, 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 page 52. Yai, lai, 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 yai, lai. Yai, lai, 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 yai, lai, 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 lai. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 יאי לי יאי לי 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 יאי לי 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 לי.
Remain standing for silent prayer, praying either the words on the pages through page 62 or the prayers of your heart. And when you're finished, please be seated.
עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו, הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל, ואמרו אמן.
Viviana, come on back up here. Dad, Papa. And to help open the ark, we invite up family friends Dan, Panocean, and Elena Evangelo. Let me ask everyone to please rise.
כי מציון תצא תורה, כי מציון תצא תורה, ודבר אדוני מירושלים. ברוך שנתן תורה תורה, ברוך שנתן תורה תורה לעמו ישראל בקדושתו.
Wow, you're here. Mia, you stand here with your sister who you love and who loves you, with two parents who absolutely adore you. We bring in through the stream your Granny Claire, who just thinks the world of you, and all these people surrounding you who hold you in high esteem. We bring into this moment also people who are important to your family. Your great-grandma Yaya, who was gone before you were born. Your abuela Maria, who knew that you were coming into this world, but never got to meet you. Abuelo Eutiquio, your grandpa Stan, all of whom would be so amazed at the young woman you are becoming. Standing here ready to receive Torah, midor lador, from generation to generation into your arms. I'm going to ask the four of you just to come over here for a second. Stand right here. Face the ark. Come to the front right here. Right here, face the ark. In this Torah that I'm holding are all sorts of words, many of which you're going to read, some of which you're going to read today. But Mia, is so much in this Torah that you've learned about in Kesher and Makom, our education programs. And on this ark are three of the most important verses in all of Torah. Words that you won't read today, but words that are part of everything we do. On this side, it says, Kiddoshim Tihiyu from Leviticus, the center of the Torah. The important words in Leviticus. The ones that say, you will be holy. It doesn't say you might be holy or you could be holy. It says that you are holy by virtue of who you are. You'll see on this side the words B'Tselem Elohim. It means created in the image of God. It doesn't say these people or those kind of people or people with this color skin or this kind of body shape are created in the image of God. It says in Genesis, we all are created in the image of God. And that means that each one of us is intrinsically valued, is blessedly unique, and is undeniably equal. And you see around the top the words of Shema that your sister sang. It says, pay attention, Israel. That means Jews on one hand, but Yisrael means those who struggle to figure out what God is, how God plays in our life, what holiness is. So everybody, on one form or another. Adonai Eloheinu. Adonai is our name for God. Adonai Echad. God is one. But Adonai is really three verbs. Haya was, Hoveh is, and Yihiyeh will be. God, for some, is a being, for some is a force, for some is an idea, for some is existence itself. And it says Adonai Echad, not that, just that God is one and not two, three, or a million, but that God, that through God, we are all part of the oneness. We are all connected to each other because we are holy, because we are all created in the image of God. And no matter what people may say out there in the world about anything, that can't change this fundamental reality that you are blessed, we all are blessed, that you are valued, you are unique, and you are so equal. And we all are too. As we carry Torah through this synagogue, this sanctuary, and some people may reach out and touch it, some may kiss it, we all follow it with our eyes. It's to hold on to not just a scroll, it's not idol worship, but the ideals in that scroll that tell us who we are and why all of us are so valued and important. And so, I'm going to have you line back up again as you were before.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu.
To help us undress the Torah, we call cousins Peter and Debbie Goldberg. Peter and Debbie Goldberg coming up.
Lehar kodsho, romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Romemu Adonai Eloheinu vehishtachavu lehar kodsho. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu romemu.
Please be seated. Come on up here. Got the yard. Where's the pointer? Maybe it's under there. Any sci-fi buffs here? Sci-fi a little bit? By the way, I was on Star Trek, but that's another story. Seriously, I was. But Deep Space Nine. But more importantly, we're about to do some time travel. We're going to go back 2,500 or 5,000 years to when these words were written and read them. We're going to go back. Are you reading about Moses on the top of the mountain? Or the golden calf? We're going to read about Moses up top, talking to God, and the people building this golden calf. But she's going to tell us about that, so I won't give you too many hints about it. We're going to time travel back to that moment, even as we time travel forward to this moment, when what was ancient becomes contemporary. And then this thoroughly modern woman is going to later share the lessons she finds in this Torah portion, giving us words and ideas to carry us into the future. Like God's name, Hayah Hoveh Yehieh, was, is, will be. Like God said at the burning bush, I am that which I am, I was that which I will be that which I am. Past, present, and future coming together, it all happens here. Ancient words, contemporary reading, ideas to carry us into the future. You're going to witness a miracle, the old made new again, because of her. Now, to help us, we're going to call up a number of relatives for an Aliyah LeTorah. That means to physically come up here on the bima, use the stairs. It's better, safer, and whatever. You'll come up and you'll be real close. I have the prayers in Hebrew, English, and transliteration, so we're all set with that. And you'll be up here close to and able to bless Torah, our spiritual source book. We're reading today from Exodus chapter 31, verses 1 through 15. 32. Exodus 32, 1 through 15. Ki tisa. We'll call up our aliyot.
For the first aliyah, we call to the Torah Joanne, Tessa, Tanya, Natalie, and Zach. Nala amod le'aliyah rishona.
Baruch hu et Adonai hamvorach. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch Adonai hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch et Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Asher bacha banu mikol ha'amim. V'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch et Adonai notein ha'torah.
Amen. Vayar ha'am ki voshesh Moshe laredet min ha'ar vayigel ha'am al Aharon vayomru elav kum aseh lanu Elohim asher Yalchu lefanenu ki zeh Moshe ha'ish asher elanu me'eretz Mitzrayim lo yadanu mehayalo vayomer alehem aharon parku nizmei hazahav asher beznei neshechem V'nechem uvnotechem v'haviu elai Vayiparku kol ha'am et nizmei hazahav asher be'oznehem v'yaviu el Aharon.
Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam natav b'tocheinu, baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
For the second Aliyah, we call to the Torah Rosa and Jillian. Nala Amod, Lelia Shniya, Devora Bat Shmuel Vechaya.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai Habarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachabanu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Amen. Vayikam mi'adam, vayatzar oto b'cheret, vaya'asechu egel masecha, vayomru ele Elohecha Yisrael, asher ha'elucha me'eretz Mitzrayim. Vayar Haron, vayiven mizbeach lefanav, vayikra Aharon vayomar, Hag l'Adonai machar, vayashkimu mimo charat, vaya'alu olot, vayagishu shlamim, vayeshev ha'am le'echol v'shatom. Vayakumu litzachek.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam natav b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. For the third Aliyah, we call to the Torah John. Nala Amod le'aliyah shlishit, Yitzchak velva ben Shmuel vechaya.
Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai.
Habarach Leolam Va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Leolam Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachabanu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'teraber Adonai el Moshe lechred, ki shichet amecha asher ha'eleta me'eretz Mitzrayim, saru maher min haderech asher tzivitim, asu lahem egel masecha, vayashtachavu lo vayisbechu lo, vayomru ele Elohecha Yisrael, asher ha'elucha me'eretz Mitzrayim, vayomer Adonai el Moshe, ra'iti et ha'am hazeh, v'hinei am keshe oref hu.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torat emet, v'chayei olam natav b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
For the fourth Aliyah, the penultimate Aliyah, we call to the Torah Alan and Goose. נא לעמוד לעלייה רביעית, ארי בן שמואל וחיה וגידיון בן אברהם ושרה.
Baruchu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen, Amen. Ve'ata hanicha li, ve'yecha pi v'chem, v'achalem, ve'eseh otcha legoy gadol. Vayechol Moshe et pnei Adonai Elohav, Vayomer lama Adonai Yechera Abcha be'amecha asher hotzeta me'eretz Mitzrayim bechoach gadol uvyad chazaka lama yomru Mitzrayim lemor bara hotziam leherag etam becharim uchalotam me'al pnei ha'adama shuv meharon apecha vehinehem al hara'ah le'amecha.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nota betochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
And for the maftir, the fifth and final aliyah, we call to the Torah Miyah. Nalamod, nalamod, nalamod. Bachur bat mitzvah, Hila bat Aron v'Gideon, chazak chazak v'nitchazek.
Baruch et Adonai Hamvarach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach leolam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Zechor le'Avraham le'Yitzhak u'Yisrael avadecha asher nishbata lahem bach ve'tadaber alehem arbeit zarechem kechofei hashamayim v'chol haaretz hazot asher amarti etein l'zarechem v'nachalu le'olam v'yinahem Adonai al ha'ara'ah asher diver la'asot le'amo v'yifen v'yered Moshe min ha'har Ushnei luchot ha'edut beyado luchot ketuvim mishnei avrechem mizeh umizeh הם כתובים.
You gotta bless it again. Go ahead.
But
We pause now for station identification. Okay.
Baruch
You know, if you don't do that, we have to go back and start the service at the beginning and do it again. No, wrong. Okay.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam natan b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. Torah is not just for the rabbis, the cantors, and the teachers. Torah is for all of us. And so in a minute, we're going to hold up the Torah so you can see it. There will be 3 columns, and the center column is where our bat mitzvah just read from. So to help us dress the Torah, we're going to call up Viviana, come on. I don't know who Vivian is. Viviana. And to help us open the ark and then close again are Daniel and Dorian Spivak. You here? Awesome. And you'll come stand right in front of the ark. Everybody else, we rise as we are able. Please rise.
וזאת התורה אשר שם משה לפני בני ישראל על פי אדוני ביד משה. וזאת התורה אשר שם משה, וזאת התורה, וזאת התורה אשר שם משה, וזאת התורה. לפני בני ישראל, וזאת התורה, על פי אדוני ביד משה, וזאת התורה. שלום, 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 שלום. שלום, שלום. עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה ותומך מאושר. עץ חיים היא למחזיקים בה ותומך מאושר. שלום, 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 שלום. Shalom, shalom, shalom.
Please be seated. Do you want to stand on these steps or no? Okay. So you're going to come over this side. Just get this thing up. You face her.
Dear Mia, you are such a wonderful sister in so many ways. You are kind, funny, and have great taste, even though it might not be my style. I love the time we spend together, and you are such a fun sister. I love blasting music in the car with the windows open with you, and we always have such an amazing time. I remember the first time we did it, I was laughing so hard, and you were just looking at me like I was crazy. From the moment I saw you, you were my biggest role model, and that is still intact to this day. You have worked so hard for this, and I am so proud of you. And even though you can be moody at times, and you're not perfect, you are still the best big sister ever, and I love you with all my heart.
Dad, Papa, come on up.
Mia, sweet child of mine, Since you first arrived in our lives 13 years ago, I knew straight away you were always going to be Daddy's girl. Sorry, Goose. I am so proud of the young woman you are becoming. These days, you are teaching me so many trivia and interesting facts about the world, and I think your sense of humor might even be better than mine. Well, maybe not. I'm your dad, but I'm also loving being your friend. Your marvelous trumpet playing makes me so happy. You have proudly told me how you are possibly a boomer in a teenage body because you love so many vintage things, 80s songs and 90s rock bands and clothes from the 1940s, like the beautiful outfit you are wearing today. Happily, I can tell you that Judaism is about as vintage as you can get. In the past few years, it has been so wonderful to see you study the ancient Hebrew language and rock your Torah portion today. On your bat mitzvah day, you are part of a long and ancient history, a culture and a civilization that has endured for thousands of years through times of terrible tribulation and through times of great joy like today. As the ancient Jews studied Torah, you have embraced your education and love learning and are making us so very proud of your immense curiosity and focus, achieving so much at school. Your education will take you far. In my life, so much more has also flowed to me from Jewish tradition, a love of freedom and justice, a love of family, a love of community, tikkun olam, working to make the world a better place, a place filled with light. As science reveals more and more of the immensity and the majesty of the universe, I often think of the ancient Israelites wandering in the desert, looking up at the stars. The very word Israel means to wrestle with God. As Queen Esther once had to stand up and say proudly in the face of evil that she was a Jew, that she was different, this has inspired me throughout my life to live proudly as who I am, and I know your Judaism will be a source of strength and inspiration for whoever you are as an adult. Being parents to you and Vivi has truly been the greatest honor and the greatest joy of my life. I love you, my amazing Miabella.
I guess my speeches can be twice as long as his. Just kidding. It's actually less than half. As the universe started with a big bang, you too, Miabella, you too came into our lives with a big bang full of wonder, determination, and precious life. You took the fast lane into this world as a tiny preemie, and you immediately showed everyone how awesome you are. Always ahead of your time, first in birth, and now also ahead of your time in maturity, compassion, empathy, intelligence, and kindness. It is of no surprise that the NICU nurses called you a firecracker. From the moment you were born, you are indeed our precious firecracker in the way you live your life with gusto, determination, and passion. Your amazing sense of justice warms my heart. As you know, we both greatly share this characteristic. I stand here in awe of you and so very proud of you. My beautiful and incredible young adult daughter, embracing Judaism and Jewish tradition, including and especially the value of B'Tselem Elohim, being created in God's image. Please don't ever forget that you have two loving and doting parents that are willing to move mountains for you in a heartbeat, as well as your little sister Viviana, whom loves you so much. You also have a very loving and supportive circle of family and friends, all gathered here for you, as well as Orami and our awesome community that will always have your back. Today, we celebrate you. The world is your oyster. Go make some pearls, and don't forget to share. I love you so much. Somebody use me.
Yeah. My Torah portion is Ki Tisa. It tells the story of the golden calf. I would like to explore its relevance to the modern era. A lot of people have said to me, "Oh, that's easy. You could say that social media is worshipped by people in the same way that the Israelites worshipped the golden calf." I actually think that this passage from the Torah contains a deeper lesson than people may have realized. This section in the Torah describes how God became enraged because the Israelites built and worshipped a golden calf rather than the all-knowing God. God is supposed to be the all-knowing one, right? God must act rationally and have great impulse control, since we are talking about the all-knowing God, one might think. Nevertheless, God gave Moses the order to tell the people who did not worship him to slay their brothers and sisters God gave Moses the order to tell the people who worshipped him to slay their brothers and sisters who did not worship him. This is the iconic act of human inhumanity. This is a common action taken by many rulers and other powerful people throughout history. But in this case, it's not the same. This is God, the all-powerful, all-knowing God. Why did God become so impetuous and enraged? It seems to be saying something of high importance. It demonstrates how even the greatest of the greatest, the all-powerful and the all-knowing, can have imperfections. It illustrates how imperfection and human traits like anger and impulse can exist in immortal beings with strength and knowledge beyond human comprehension. As John Legend once said, "Love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections." This quote, in my opinion, fits this section of the Torah exceptionally well. The oxymoron applied of perfect imperfections helps us understand how the concept of perfect would not exist without the concept of imperfection. This indicates that, in comparison to the everlasting God, we are certainly imperfect. Every single one of us is just one tiny dust particle amongst an endless stream of other particles of dust drifting through a vast desert vacuum. I have been thinking about the connection between the story of the golden calf and my life, and it made me think about the use of social media by teenagers of my generation. For example, I have seen how people's original senses of humors have been forgotten and replaced by what they have seen or thought was funny from YouTube or TikTok. Many people in my school use different words or phrases from TikTok or YouTube because it is considered trendy, and in reality, it just makes everyone seem stupid because it makes them seem like they can't have an actual sense of humor. The desire to be like someone else and the actions one may take in order to become that takes away from people's individuality. I've also talked to many of my peers about the impact of social media, and I've actually encountered a lot of people who have had to delete social media because it was becoming increasingly detrimental to their mental health. In many ways, the use of social media in the 21st century does resemble worshiping the golden calf. Therefore, in order to keep my authenticity, I have decided to avoid using social media and maintain person-to-person relationship and verbal communication. In the last 2 years, I had gone to a Jewish sleepaway camp for a month during the duration of the summer. There was no access to electronic devices allowed, and this, amongst many other factors, contributed to my overall happiness. My endorphins were stimulated way more than when I got an A on my test about neurotransmission. It's supposed to be a joke. You can laugh now. That was also a joke. You can laugh again. Sleepaway camp has been some of the happiest times of my life, and it is something that I look forward to each year. In my everyday life, I enjoy spending time reading, especially horror and sci-fi. I love listening to music of the 80s and the 90s and creating music. I play the trumpet in a wind ensemble at my school. I'm also very good at blowing the shofar. Want to hear? Come for High Holidays. I've been going to Orami since 4th grade. Unfortunately, I had to start Hebrew school via Zoom during the pandemic. I didn't really know anyone, but Orami has provided me with a lot of friends. My favorite memory is the 4th through 6th grade retreat and getting Dairy Queen after it with my friends Layla, Kira, and Etty. Nowadays, I enjoy going to Macomb because I get to spend time with my friends while laughing with them. The most challenging thing about Hebrew school was learning the Hebrew alphabet, mostly because the letters look so similar to one another. It also doesn't resemble the structure of the letters in the English alphabet. Although it was hard at the beginning, I got the hang of it. And hey, didn't you hear me chant? The easiest part of Hebrew school and the one I enjoy the most is chanting the prayers. I don't yet know if I believe in God, but I've learned from sleepaway camp and Hebrew school that I can find spirituality and connection to Judaism in other forms. Chanting prayers alongside others is one of the things that I enjoy and gives me a sense of belonging. My favorite prayer is Vishamru, which specifies the importance of the eternal covenant between the Jewish people and God by remembering and observing Shabbat. I have beautiful memories of chanting this prayer with my friends at sleepaway camp and at Hebrew school. I should pause for a little bit. I was always aware that I would have a bat mitzvah, but I had no idea what that actually entailed. It was something I was eager to accomplish, mainly because I wanted to see my family and my friends. That's all of you. But I also wanted this for me, for my Jewish identity. I believe in the rite of passage. I think that being a bat mitzvah entails showing others and myself that I am becoming who I am supposed to be in life. This to me means being mature, more independent, and being able to form my own opinion without influence from other factors. Being Jewish, for me, is about being part of a community who shares traditions like bat mitzvah, celebration of Shabbat and holidays, different foods and values such as kindness, treating others with respect, and being a decent person. The most important part of being Jewish is my family. My dads feel very strongly about our Judaism, and today is a memorable moment, an experience they really wanted me to have. I'm happy that I've accomplished this important milestone and that we are all here to celebrate together. For my mitzvah project, I did a beach cleanup together with my friend Kira. I chose this as my mitzvah project because I wanted to do something good for the community. We went to the beach and cleaned up the litter. Sometimes we asked people if they had any trash because we couldn't find a lot on the beach. This experience was proven to be good because people might have left their waste on the beach if we hadn't asked them for it. It was also fun because we got to hang out and goof off at the beach. This was a meaningful experience, not only because it helped the community, but also because I got to make memories with my friend and have fun all at the same time. There are a lot of people in my life who helped me reach this moment, and I would like to thank them. Dad, I know I haven't been the most appreciative lately, and I'm sorry for that. I just wanted to tell you that I appreciate you and everything you do for me and for the family. This bat mitzvah that you've been planning for 3 years is amazing beyond words, and I will never forget you or this day. I love you. Papa, I will never forget that day when we stole that traffic cone, blasted music, and later talked about gratitude. Right now, as I write this, it's actually right after we talked, but you didn't know that. Well, now it's not, but you know what I mean. You have always been there for me, and I love and appreciate you so much. I thank you both for your wisdom and lessons in life you've shared with me. You will never be forgotten, and I know that I'm only 13, but when I have kids, I will make sure to teach them what my two dads taught me. Vivi, I can't even begin to tell you how much I adore you. You are truly my best friend, and I know that right now you're only 9 years old, but when we're grown-ups and Papa and Daddy aren't going to be around, we're going to be the only ones there for each other, and I love you so much. You're the sweetest, kindest sister anyone could ask for. Granny, I will never forget the time I spent with you here and when you came to visit, and when I came to visit you in South Africa. You've brought so much kindness and wisdom into my life, and I love you so much. And to end this speech on a playful note, here's a thingy-majiggy that rhymes and sounds cool. Rabbi Lana, I thank you for helping me write this speech. Diane, I thank you for the help in the Hebrew you teach. Cantor Kyle, I thank you for helping and giving me 80s homework too. Rabbi Paul, I thank you for all the amazing things that you do. I thank everyone for coming here today, and remember that every single day, every word you say, every game you play, every night you stay, I'll be watching you. Not really, just kidding. And yes, that was totally necessary. If you got my reference, you're pretty cool.
Simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, mazel tov, mazel tov, simen tov, yehelanu, 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 ulechol Yisrael, yehelanu, yehelanu, ulechol Yisrael.
Mia, we have a few gifts for you that I'll keep up here, but I wanted to let you know about them. First of all, we have a 2-dot bat mitzvah, a bat mitzvah certificate that says you became a bat mitzvah here at Congregation Orami. This is for a scrapbook, which is like Instagram, but real without the social media problems attached to it. We have for you a book, which is like a website, except with pages, called Israel Matters, Understand the Past and Look to the Future. This is a gift from the Jewish Federation of Greater Los Angeles. Look, you don't have to watch a lot of news and you don't have to be on social media to know that that center of the world there, the Mideast, Israel, the Palestinian territories, that whole area is challenging and has a long history going back. And you can't understand it if you're getting your history from TikTok or social media or even Fox or CNN. You got to read and delve in because it's a long, complex history. This will help you do it a little bit. And always remember, I think it says it in here, but I'm not sure. To be a Jew is to have a heart that expands, that can hold in your heart the hostages, 136? 134, who are still being held hostage just because they are Israelis, and most of them Jews. And our heart can also hold all those who have lost loved ones in this terrible massacre and the wars that followed. And we can hold in our heart all the Palestinians who have lost their lives, been killed, who are suffering too. To be a Jew is to be able to hold both of those, but not to simplify it and say this or that, but to recognize the complexity. That's all in this book. You don't have to read it all tonight. But since we're creating that book, giving you that book, you should get over to Israel and see it. So NIFTY, the North American Federation of Temple Youth, and the Union for Reform Judaism want you to get over there. So they have for you a gift certificate good for $3,250 toward a trip during one of your high school years. It's great to go during birthright, but when you go before for 4 to 6 weeks, it is intense and amazing. So you're going to take this, give it to one of your parents, and they'll put it in a safe deposit box, which is like Venmo, but real. And finally, we have a mezuzah, which on a certain thing is just a box. But you put in it a scroll that you'll get from the Shalom House or somewhere, and put it on your door and angle it inward. And it's a reminder. All this is a reminder. The tzitzit, the Torah, these people around you. It's a reminder to live that honest, ethical life. And it's angled in to remind the people who live inside, you and all of you, that when we go out into the world, we have to see godliness in all people. We have to lift people up, all people. And that hatred that seeps into everybody's brain, some more than others, we have to stand up and call it out and make sure it doesn't take hold in this world. Because, as it says up there, we're all created, but Tselem Elohim in God's image. So these are gifts. We'll give it to you a little later. And now, Cantor Kyle has some words for you.
So I get to work with all of the students before leading up to their bar bat mitzvah. And my time with Mia was nothing short of just awesome and fun, hilarious, and engaging and inspiring in a lot of ways. Most of you probably know Mia better than I do, but in the time that I've gotten to know her, I was struck by how well prepared she was, week in, week out. Never skipped any of the homework I gave her, both in terms of the religious stuff, but I also, as she shared, I also gave her 80s homework. I learned while I was working both with her and with Kira concurrently that they're best friends and they love 80s music. And as someone born in the 80s, I was pretty familiar with it. So I tried to expose them to songs that maybe they didn't know. And that was real hard because like everything I was recommending they'd heard of, so I had to dig real deep to find stuff. And I'd pass it on to each of them and they'd listen to the same song that I'd give them, compare notes, come back to me, tell them if it was good or bad, if they liked it or not. So that just made it fun for me to be able to like engage with you in a way that I don't normally get to engage with my students. So that was really, really fun. The other thing that I really, really enjoyed was just your sense of humor. And I think Alan and Goose too, I think kind of talked about your sense of humor. And just how much you laughed at my jokes, which was awesome because most of the time they're not great, but like you made me feel like I was the funniest guy there, and it's just, it's a good feeling. So whether you were polite or just actually think I'm funny, it was just a lot of fun to be able to make you laugh and for you to make me laugh. I mean, you just would giggle so much during our time together, and it's just, laughter and smiling is infectious. And so it was a 30-minute block of my day where I just knew I was going to be laughing and smiling a lot, and that was just very fulfilling. But what was most touching for me and most inspiring for me on such a profound level is just the sense of identity and style and self that you have. Like I remember when I first met you, you were doing it for a while, you're not doing it so much anymore, but you had just like these long bangs that you were wearing. And I was like, that's really cool. I don't know anybody else that does that. That's really cool. And the shoes you would wear when you would come here, you had these like big black thick boots. I was like, "Mom," and with like metal buckle things on them. And I was like, those are really cool. And I noticed it with Viviana too. I mean, she's got these really cool jackets and her outfit today is really cool. And I was just like, both of you just have such a great sense of style. But it goes deeper than just that, right? That's just the surface. You are so confident and self-assured with who you are, both in terms of, you know, the 40s style of clothes, the 80s music. And what I find so inspiring about that is I'm 38, and it took me until I was in my 30s to really establish who I am and develop that level of confidence and say, like, I'm just going to be who I am. I'm going to dress how I am. And I don't care what other people say. And for a 12, 13-year-old to be able to do that, I mean, that's incredible. That's not just unique for that age. But I mean, as I look around here, how many other people here can say, like, yeah, I'm as confident and established in my own identity as Mia? It's incredible that you were able to do that at such a young age. And so it got me thinking, is that nature or nurture? Like, were you just born this way? Or do you just have an incredible family who's just loved you and supported you and helped you just become who you are? And it's just both. And I am so proud to say that I am now officially a part of the family, because when I arrived here about an hour before services, they were taking photos out front, and I waved. letting them know I was here. And I was like, oh, this is the cantor. And the photographer said, get in the family photo. And so I was in the family photo. So forevermore, I am now an honorary member of the family. So thank you for allowing me to be that. I'm still working on what my title is, maybe just cantor for now. So as a tribute to you and your our incredible family, I want to sing a really special song. It's a song that my dad sang to me at my bar mitzvah here many years ago. It's called Shema B'ni Shim Ibiti. Listen, my son. Listen, my daughter. Shema B'ni, take these wings to fly with. Shim Ibiti, with these roots you will grow. This is my promise, this is my blessing. You are the promise, and you are the blessing. Shema B'ni, Shim Ibiti. God's children come into the shelter, a place of peace, a house of prayer, a center of learning, of justice, of giving, where everyone's loved and where everyone cares. Shema B'ni, Shim Ibiti. Ufros aleinu, ufros aleinu, ufros aleinu, sukat shlomecha. A mother calms the cry of her infant. A young boy reads and becomes a man. Vows are exchanged as two hearts become one. A daughter returns and reads Kaddish again. Shema B'ni, Shim Ibiti. So you shall fly on wings of eagles, and you shall grow like a sturdy tree. This is my promise, this is my blessing. You are the promise, and you are the blessing. Shema B'ni, Shim Ibiti.
The door of a door, from generation to generation, we pass down our values, our traditions, our Torah, our most sacredly held ideals. I'm going to take in just a moment our bat mitzvah before the ark and share some words of blessing with her. I want you to imagine during that time that you are standing in my shoes. What would you be saying to her at that moment? How would you be lifting her up? How would you be passing on? What values, traditions, Torah, teachings would you be passing on to her? What kind of praise would you shower on her? I know that later on this evening during the celebration, you'll each find a moment to pull her aside, to pull her parents aside, and share those words of blessing with her. And those of you who are streaming in, take a moment and drop in the chat some words of praise, of blessing for her parents. For parents, yes, but for Mia herself. As we do that, Cantor Kyle is going to sing a song, The Door for Door, about passing that on from generation to generation. So if Mia will join me on the bima, everybody sit back, listen to the beautiful music, and think words of blessing.
We are gifts and we are blessings. We are history in song. We are hope and we are healing. We are learning to be strong. We are words and we are stories. We are pictures of the past. We are carriers of wisdom, not the first and not the last. Ledor vador nagid God lecha. Ledor vador we protect this chain. From generation to generation, Ledor vador, these lips will praise your name. Looking back on the journey that we carry in our hearts, from the shadow of the mountain to the waters that would part. We are blessed and we are holy. We are children of your way. And the words that bring us meaning, we will have the strength to say. Ledor vador nagid God lecha. Ledor vador we protect this chain. From generation to generation, Ledor vador, these lips will praise your name. Ledor vador nagid God lecha. Ledor vador we protect this chain. From generation to generation, Ledor vador, these lips will praise your name.
We're now going to bless you with Birkat Kohanim, the priestly benediction, words from the center of Torah. Words that you were blessed with, I think, when you were named. Words when we went through all sorts of special life cycle moments. Words we'll say again at future moments. Words you could say on Friday nights also. Birkat Kohanim.
Yivarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha.
May God bless you and watch over you.
Yair Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God shine upon you and be gracious unto you.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'yasem lecha shalom.
May God be with you wherever you are, whether you believe in God, not sure, into holiness or into a holy world. May that holiness surround you and fill you with shalom, with peace, inside your heart, in your soul, in your family, in your community, and in our world. Mazel tov. Mazel tov. So as we prepare to conclude our service, I want to tell you about two things that we'll talk about later on in life. You raised some profound ideas about God, okay? And you raised the possibility that God is not the perfection that we think of or we're taught all the time. There was a guy named Charles Hartshorne. He used to be at Brown University, and he wrote a book called The Omnipotence of God, God's all-powerfulness, and Other Theological Fallacies. This really smart guy said, maybe the way we see Torah, see God, is not quite exactly what is. He said maybe that's, we're reading Torah through the eyes of the Greeks. And maybe God is imperfect. And maybe that imperfection we're supposed to learn from and allow ourselves not to do everything perfectly. The second thing I'll tell you is Torah might be the Jewish people's understanding of our relationship with God. Remember when you were younger and these two guys were the smartest people in the world and the strongest and could do anything? And now as you grow up, you recognize that they're still pretty awesome, but not quite that. Wait till you grow older. Maybe when you have kids, you realize they're a heck of a lot smarter than you thought at a certain time. But that's for a while. Dad's like, yeah, won't give me kids, give 'em a kiss. But maybe Torah is that, and our understanding of God through that is that, and maybe there are 18, 20, and more ideas of what God is and could be, based out of Torah. And over time, maybe we'll talk about it and learn them. And you'll see that maybe there's a way of understanding God that's not what we've learned so far. Put that away. But now, as we move to conclusion of our Torah, of our service, we're going to remember those who have been so important to us but are no longer in life. Some of you during this time of Kaddish are remembering your loved ones. As I bring my hand around the room, I'm going to invite you to mention their names and relationship to you aloud. You'll say, my Uncle Fred, my friend Sophie. And then we'll turn to page 294 and we'll read together the words of Kaddish. So this evening we are remembering May their memories be for blessing. We rise as we are able, and we join together in the reading of Kaddish. Page 294. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divara chirutei v'yamnich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kariv v'emru amen. Yehei Shmei Rabba Mevarach Leolam Ulolmei Amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal Shmei Dekudisha Brichu. Le'ela min kol be'erchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiran be'ama v'imru amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba min Shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael Vimru amen. Oseh shalom bimramav, hu ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, vimru amen. May the one who brings peace to the high heavens bring peace to us, to all Israel and all the world, as we say together, amen.
Oseh shalom bimramav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Israel.
So, in just a minute, we're all going to go outside, just out into the foyer. I'm going to first invite, in a minute, our bat mitzvah, her immediate family, and the closest relatives to go out. We have some chalot, some braided ritual breads that we'll say the blessing over and then eat. It doesn't represent anything. It's just the beginning of a meal. But we'll say a blessing before, and you'll all take a piece, and then we'll go. For all the young people who didn't come with people or are going to take the bus, immediately after we do the blessing over the challah, we're going to go out, and there will be a bus there. Get on that bus. You don't want to stay here because I think I'm having Brussels sprouts for dinner, and I think their stuff is better. And everybody else, we're going to Westlake Village Inn, right? So the bus will go there. You'll go there and celebrate. We are Congregation Orami. We're here every Friday night, unless we're not. But it's always on the website, orami.org. We're here at 7:30, unless we're here at 6:30 or like last night, 7 o'clock. But it's on the website. And we're always here, unless we're down by the beach or in someone's backyard or at the Thousand Oaks Civic Arts Plaza or wherever. But check us out. Come and be with us. Let's celebrate. And thank you for being here. For those who traveled the distance, welcome. And blow a kiss to your grandmother right out there. We love you. Thanks for being here. Shabbat Shalom.